Hey everyone, let me show you how I did my makeup today. This is also the makeup I wore in my last video, which was my 2024 favorites. In this video, I'm using a lot of those favorites as well, so I'll list everything down below. All of these products are absolute winners. I left in a lot of the kind of application techniques as well that I normally edit out of my videos, so you can really see how some of these products apply on my skin. So I'm starting out with a sunscreen primer. This is such a fave. I've almost run out of it. It is kind of blurring as well, and it looks so pretty by itself or under makeup. It doesn't feel greasy or heavy. I love it. I like to just kind of let it settle on my face for a couple of minutes before I head into the next step. Here's a close-up of how it makes my skin look. I love it, and my skin is far from perfect in this video. As you can see, I've got a lot of blemishes and scars from where I've been picking at my face, so that's great. I'm also popping on some lash serum as well before I start any of my eye makeup and letting that soak in. My lashes still look shit because they're like clear, but you can see they look so much thicker. Like I feel like I've got twice as many lashes, and when I put on my mascara later you can see they're actually really long, so I'm loving that for me. Next up, I'm doing my foundation. So fave of the year has to be the Tear. I love this. Like, look how dirty and ugly my packaging is. That just goes to show I really do use it and travel with it and pack it up with me. And I'm applying it with a brush today. You can also use the little puff it comes with, or a sponge, or your fingers. I just wanted to show you how well it blends over my skin, and it's so beautiful. I love the finish. I've actually done a couple of videos like dedicated to this foundation, so you can go watch them if you haven't seen them already. But I love how you can use a little or a lot of this product depending on the look you want to go for. I'm going quite full glam today, and of course I've got some areas I really want to cover, so I'm kind of stippling it over there. And if you feel like it looks a little bit almost streaky or something when you first apply it, just give it a second to settle. It just ends up looking perfect every time. Every time I wear this and I go to an appointment or something, I'm always asked what foundation I'm wearing. Like every time. I'm not even just saying that, like I'm serious. Like it makes my skin look so beautiful in person. I think it's almost like healthy skin vibes. Like the finish, the coverage is just perfect. It's not like, you know, even if you build it up and you do it really full coverage, it doesn't give that mask effect. I don't know how to describe it. It is just perfection. I love it so much. Have you guys tried it? I'm sure many of you have since it went viral. Since the scars on my chin from the acne are quite vibrant and fresh, I'm not going to bother putting on too much foundation. Instead, I will just add some concealer to any areas I want more coverage rather than wasting foundation, because you know how it is when you've got fresh acne scars. They just stand out like dog's balls. The reason I put a little bit of that concealer on my jaw as well is just, you know, to make the color match all across the bottom of my face, because it's not a perfect match, but don't worry about it, we're going to make it work. And the concealer under my eyes, I like to apply this one and then let it sit for like 20 seconds or so and then blend it out, and I just feel like it helps quicken the blending process. Once again, this is like a very lightweight serumy kind of texture, so if you get any like little lines or anything, just let it sit for a second and then blend it out, and it literally is perfect. It's one of my favorite concealers ever of all time. I mean, it's been my favorite for like 2 years in a row now. And if you've noticed, my face is a little bit pale compared to my body. We are gonna fix it. But first, I want to set that concealer. I've been loving this Made by Mitchell under eye not concealer, what's it called? Powder? Brightening powder. It is very full on. Like, it's not natural whatsoever, and I do crease a little bit with it, but it makes my under eye look so smooth and perfect that I do not care. But, you know, just be prepared if you have like very bad creasing. It might accentuate it a little bit, but for me, I'm fine. I can deal with it. I'm going to use some bronzer. This has been a total fave ever since I tried it for the first time. It just blends out like butter, and this is how I'm going to kind of bronze up my skin a little bit to make it match better. I'm applying it on my cheeks first, then my forehead and my nose, under my lip, and even my jaw. I don't usually do my jaw, but I love how it looks. I've actually been loving so many different Milani products in the last year. Like, they're just putting out so many cool products. Next up though, we are going to kind of set some more areas of my base. So I'm going in between where I bronzed with some of the powder just to kind of brighten those areas and set them. And I just like to use a powder puff. You can use a brush if you want, but I don't know, I just feel like I get such a smooth finish with this powder with a powder puff. And then I'm going to go in with this little palette, which I have not put down since getting it. Seriously, I've used it most times I've done my makeup ever since. There's also another palette. This is the one in shade 2. How gorgeous is that packaging? The one that's in shade 1 is a little bit more like natural, I would say, peachy vibe, whereas this one's got a bit more pink and vibrancy to it. But I just love this blush and the highlighter so much. By the way, I'm trying out this Flower Nose blush brush because I always get sent them, and they're so pretty to look at, and I was like, you know what, let me actually try it. But yeah, I don't really like it very much. I feel like it kind of moved my base a little bit, so I just set that back down again with a bit more of the powder with my puff to smooth it out, and that helped. Cute brushes, they just don't function like my favorite. Then I'm using, this is actually a Made by Mitchell highlight brush. It reminds me of my XO Beauty brush shape. Getting tongue-tied. I love this brush as well. I love this shape for highlighting. Heaps of brands do them. And then I'm also using the bronzer from this palette, which is actually a little bit too dark for me normally, but just because I had a lot of fake tan on, it works. So that's good. It's definitely on like the darker end spectrum for my skin tone, but I'm happy that, yeah, I got to use a little bit because the finish of it is beautiful. It's the most beautiful like satin kind of finish. Obsessed. So I kind of set my bronzer with that and then went in with setting spray just to settle any powders, even though considering all of that I feel like I don't look powdery whatsoever, but this setting spray is just addictive. Seriously guys, I just love all of these products so freaking much. Like, it's a guaranteed good makeup day with any of these products. This brow pencil I always say is so boring to look at, but it just makes my brows look perfect, and it's so quick and easy, so it's so good for day to day when I'm in a rush and I just want to look a bit more polished. Like, look at that, that's all I do, done. And then I go in with some of this brow laminate. It's like a brow gluey brow gel, and it sticks your brows in place. You can do the laminated look. I'm just kind of using it to slick my brows down and hold them in, and I like this one because it doesn't go all white and crusty looking. You know how some of them do that. Once I have that on, I decided to be extra today because I'm trying to look pretty and trying to look glam. Normally I'd stop there, but I wanted to go in with my ABH brow gel, and I've loved this for freaking years. This is espresso and it looks super dark, and it is dark, but I use the tiniest amount and I just skim it over, and look at this. It literally adds so much dimension to my brows and just makes them look so polished and fresh and just so much better. I don't know why, I don't know how, but every time I use this just as like a finishing touch, it just does something to me. Like, I love it, and I don't know what else to tell you, but I just love it. And then I'm just using a little bit more pencil just to fill in any gaps if I want to, and then I use the other side of that laminate stuff just to kind of like move down some hairs that were a bit haywire. Mind you, these brows are stuck down, so it's difficult, but it's good to just blend out any pencil and stuff like that. So pretty happy with those. I love how they look, polished, kind of natural still, but you know, a bit glam because we want to do a fuller face of makeup today. Now for my eyes, I used a bunch of different eyeshadow palettes just because I was showcasing a few favorites. So this one, like the packaging, incredible. I'm such a dragon girl. Like, I love dragons, and the colors inside are literally just me all over, like mauvey, pinks, purples. You know, I love those colors so much. Oh my god. And this brush is so underrated. I'm leaving this whole clip in so you can see how it blends. It literally makes any eyeshadow blend like, I don't even know like what you would say. Like, it looks so diffused and perfect. I love this brush. I've used this for years to blend out eyeshadow, and I feel like I never really stop and tell you guys about it. So I'm just using that, and you just kind of push and blend until it, you know, looks the way you want it to. Here I'm going in with a second layer just to add some intensity, and I feel like once I've done this step, any eyeshadow that goes on top also blends out really easily. By the way, it's an angled eye brush from XO Beauty. I'll link it below. The round one is just as good as well, but also amazing for under the eyes, for concealer and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know, I just love the way they blend my eyeshadow. And it's not like a typical brush you'd normally blend on your eyeshadow with, so that's why I just wanted to shout it out. So once that's on, I am going in with a darker kind of pinky, or like a more bright pink almost, and applying it to the front half of my crease. And this time I'm using more of a blender brush just to kind of, you know, whip it on quickly and blend it out nicely, and it's just going to add that vibrancy, is that a word, vibrancy? You know what I mean. Look how gorgeous these eyeshadows are too. I love the quality of them, and the colors are just perfection. I'm loving pink at the moment, so I had to kind of put some pink on my eyes for this video for my favorite, you know, yearly favorites look, of course. And then once I have that on, I'm going into a different palette. You know, I've been loving Flower Nose this year. It's definitely one of my favorite brands that I have been delving into. And the palettes are just so freaking cute. So this time I'm taking this kind of mauvey, darker, browny, pinky color and putting that on the outer corner, outer crease, outer V, just all of that, and then blending that out. Once again, the quality of these eyeshadows is just spectacular. Like, they blend on so beautifully. They don't look dusty and dry, and I don't even know what to tell you. You just need to try them. The palettes sometimes look boring, but every single time I've worn any of them on my eyes, I've just felt like a fairy princess. So I just love them. I recommend them to anyone. Then I'm using a clean brush just to kind of blend the edges. Just blending lots as I go because I want it to be nice and blended. Hello. Geodes is probably my most used palette from this brand, and I'm using two colors. So first I'm going in with the more whitey pink looking one. They're very foiled, like duochrome vibes. So I'm just pressing that on with my finger on the inner maybe third of my eyelid, and then I'm going to take the other shade that I showed, the slightly darker one, and I'm putting that kind of in the middle of my eyelid and blending that in. And you can see how they just like melt into everything else. They're just incredible. Like, I love shiny, foily eyeshadows like this. They're just totally my vibe. I find that they go on the best with your fingers because they are like I said, very foily and flaky. So you just press them in and they just look beautiful. Then I'm taking this color under my eyes. You can see a little bit of that creasing I was talking about with the powder. So I'm just covering it right up with some eyeshadow. Magic. Blending, 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 making it super diffused. And then here's a little trick I do to make it look really clean afterwards, is I just take whatever's left on my powder puff and then I kind of blend the edges with that. And it just makes it look a bit more sharp and clean, like I said. So really good little tip just to finish and polish off the makeup. This whole Swan Ballet collection, like, the packaging is unreal. So I'm taking the palette number 3, and this is very pink, and this color looks like it'd be so shit, right? But can you actually watch in real time how much it perfects my skin? It's like a blurring filter. Like, look at that. It's amazing. It's so unassuming, but give it a chance. Look at that. So good as well if you like a more matte natural finish. But for me, hello, I'm extra. I don't care if it looks like I'm wearing a pound of makeup on my face, because I am. I'm gonna top it off with a foil. This foil color is so pretty and sparkly, and I'm using a pencil brush just to kind of scatter it where I want it. I also used it on my inner corners as well. I'm doing 2 layers just to really make it pop. I will be a sparkly inner corner girl till the day I die. Like, if my makeup is not done in the casket with a bright pop on my inner corner, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm also going to set my eyeshadow with setting spray. I did this weird like possessed face too to spray it under my eyes. Just trying to make sure all of those sparkles are set with setting spray as well. I find it helps with them not falling out throughout the day, although I don't really find that with these eyeshadows anyway, just for some extra insurance. I also wanted to be super extra, so I'm using some eye halo on my lids, like right in the center of the lid, blending it out with a pencil brush and then pressing even more foils on top of it just to make my eye makeup super intense and like, it's not really sparkly, like I said, it's like foiled. Do you know what I mean? Like metallic. I love it. I love how this eye makeup turned out. It's so perfect. Then I wanted to use my favorite eyeliners and I was like, oh, maybe I should use the dark brown, but something called me to the other one and I didn't know if it was going to look super good, but I love it. So you just need water to activate these. They are like a cream, like a solid in the pan, and then you just wet them with water or setting spray or a mixing medium. I use setting spray just because in my head I'm like, oh, maybe it'll make it last better. These never fade anyway, but that's just my logic. And then I use a winged liner brush to whip it on, and I didn't edit that clip. That's seriously how easy it is. I cut me re-dipping my brush just then, but look at that. I'm just kind of cleaning it up, adding a bit more, making sure it's even. I actually find this method so much quicker than using an eyeliner pen. I can literally whip it on in 30 seconds an eye. Watch, I'll do it again. So I'm just gonna first start with the wing, and then I flip my brush around, kind of like join it back to the middle where I want it a little bit thicker, and then make sure that's straight, and then kind of just do a thinner line on the inner part of my eye. I often use my fingernail too to smooth out and flick out the very edges of my liner. I do that with like no matter what eyeliner formula I use. I find it's such a good little trick, and it makes it a bit less painful than trying to like get your brush to like do exactly what you want it to. I've been using this exact palette since the launch of it as well, which was ages ago, and I've not even barely made a dent. Like, this thing will last me till the day I die, I swear. And I feel like every time I use it, I just have a good makeup day. and that's what we want. For mascara, I am using my favorite. It's from my own brand. I'm so proud of this. People are loving it, and I love how I didn't film this in focus because my camera focused on the mirror, so that's very, very helpful. You guys are so welcome. Every time I wear this, Hamish doesn't even know, because I'm not like, hey Hamish, I'm wearing so-and-so mascara today, but he genuinely always comments on my lashes every time I wear this. He's like, oh, your lashes look so long. I just love it, and it does not rub, smudge, flake, nothing. When you want to remove it at the end of the day, you just wet your face, wet your lashes. I like to do it in the shower. It just slides right off. There's no mess. I love it. I hate mascaras that are really hard to remove. Like, they are basically my pet peeve, and it could be the best mascara I've ever used, but if it's hard to remove, I can't be bothered. Once the mascara is on, I'm going to brighten my waterline. This has been my favorite for ages as well, and I swear to God, once again, I'm going to have this till the day I die, because look how huge the pencil is still, and I barely ever sharpen it because obviously it's such a small little space, but you can see the before and after. It just helps to make my eyes look far less tired. I get pink waterlines just naturally. I don't know if it's hay fever or it's just my genetics, but it just makes my eye makeup look so much more fresh. Next up, I'm doing my lip combo. So I'm using Wifey because it is my lips but better, and it's really soft, and it just goes with any look. I love this color. I wear it a lot in my day-to-day life when I'm doing my makeup, you know, on weekends and stuff like that. It is so pretty, so I decided to fill in my lips with that. And then I'm going to go on top with a matte liquid lipstick. So I wanted my lip combo to really last today, but a lot of the time in real life I just do like a gloss on top or like a lip oil. But yeah, this is going to add more coverage, and it's like a pale nude. I love this color. And then I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Faux Filler lip glosses, one of my favorites from the past year. This is Sugar Baby, and I just love the baby pink vibe. I'm so into baby pink lips at the moment. Like, I can't get enough. And because I'm putting this on top of the matte liquid lipstick as well, like, look how perfect my lips look. Those matte liquid lipsticks, I know normally mattes really dry out your lips and create a lot of lines, but those ones are not drying at all. So my lips look very smooth. Then I'm cutting these lashes in half and just applying them to my outer corners, because I felt like having a bit more flare and a bit more length right at the outer edges, these just do the trick. And I reckon this style, they're called the Chic, they look kind of similar to individual lashes. Like, they don't look too full on. Very good for you if you are like me and you're kind of shit at applying individuals. They give that effect. Sometimes I even put these under my lashes to make them look super natural. Oh, possessed. Just fanning off the glue, trying to dry it quicker because it always takes 12 years. But yeah, look how pretty the outer corners look. It adds some curl and some like depth and thickness and stuff. Just false lash things, you know. I love false lashes still. I'm starting to get right back into them again. I'm not gonna lie. I've been loving applying just outer corner ones, especially in the last like couple months. And this is optional, but I'm just adding a little bit of mascara to them as well to blend them a bit better and thicken them up even more. Oh, I love this eye makeup so much. Oh my God, I wish I could just like copy and paste it to my face every day. Like, I would wear this every single day of my life if I could be bothered doing it. And don't get me wrong, I love the process of doing it and applying all of the different products, but we don't have that much time every day anymore, you know? If you want to see an updated everyday makeup look routine situation video, let me know and I could film that, because I use a lot of the same products but just in a much quicker way. You know, less full glam, more everyday. But I absolutely love how this makeup turned out. I felt so pretty in it. My skin looks flawless, especially considering how bad I was breaking out, and I was very like kind of insecure about my skin at the start. Here's a real close up so you can really see everything. Of course, it still looks like makeup because it is makeup, but I still think it just looks so flattering on my skin. Oh, I need to do some shaving of my face at the moment. It's a bit fuzzy. The lip combo is absolute perfection every time, and I love how it kind of matches my eye makeup. I didn't really plan that, to be honest. I was just kind of using favorite products, but I'm not going to complain. I think it looks so cute. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you made it to the end of the video, drop some love heart emojis. I love you so much. Thank you for watching me for a whole nother year, and I can't wait to see what other favorite products we find this year. I just love makeup so freaking much, guys. My gosh.